as I call the Democrats, because they are dumb in so many ways. They've redistricted for years, and now we took our shot, and it looks like we're going to pick up a lot of seats, and that's a good thing.
He did not answer the question. Is that like answering the question indirectly? And when they asked him, you know what I'm saying? They asked him, they said, Mr. President, y'all been up over here tripping on so-called African Americans. Why you doing them like that? And that's what he had to say. You know what I'm saying? He talked about it, but he did not answer the question directly. Why have you attacked black people politically, socially? In any shape, form, or fashion that you could downgrade the people. Why have you, in other words, why have you did that? And he said that, but we're going to go all the way back because, I'm like Vladimir Putin. I like to get it in writing. I like to hear more than just our community talking about these topics. I really do. So we're going to go all the way back. I'm not going to play the full video because it's long, but just to hear some of the things that Donald Trump has done to the black community here in America is just mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? It's just mind warping. Like, why would you have all that hate? Why would you have all that animosity? Why would you actually have a plan? And then you got the power. You the president. You know what I'm saying? You got the power. And the first thing that you do and part of your agenda in your cabinet is to attack black people, to reduce black people, to fire black people. And on the same time you doing that, the people that did the insurrection, you trying to work out deals so you can get them reparations. And you already did that because I remember Donald Trump sit up there and he got all this money together. And he said, because white people in this country actually had to go through racial biasy training. They had that. That was going on in America. Like, man, Billy, you're too damn racist. You need help. You know what I'm saying? You need to go take this counseling. So did that help anybody? No, it didn't help anybody because they're still racist. You know what I'm saying? But he still gave them a form of reparations in that. He gave them money. Now he's back all over again. You know what I'm saying? Now Donald Trump back all over again trying to funnel $1.7 billion so he can use it as his win. How do you sue the government? How do you sue the government in which is yourself? And then win? You know what I'm saying? How do you sue the government and Donald Trump, you is the damn government. You know what I'm saying? How do you sue the government and then win and then take that money and then give it to your cronies? All your crash outs, mega people. But we're gonna go all back. I can't believe you said that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Donald Trump, why do you hate black people? That's what he said. Donald Trump, why are you doing that to black people? That's what he said. Let's go all the way back.
Black Americans across the country are facing a systemic attack on their right to vote by the MAGA Republican Party and Donald Trump's Supreme Court. This is how the president responded. Let's play the clip.
So we're confused about the changing maps, the changing dates, and the African Americans concerned that this is going to draw black members of Congress off the map. What do you say? Well, I think it's been a wonderful process. They've been the Democrats, or as I...
So your president, I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna let him play all the way out. But your president think is good. You know what I'm saying? All the things that he did to black people. And it's still black people out here that is die hard MAGA. Even though, you know what I'm saying? Even though they put him on the press conference, they put the cameras up, the news people, audience, all them people was there and they asked him, you know what I'm saying? They asked him. And he said, your president think it's good to see black people losing their jobs. Your president, he thinks it's good to see black people struggle. Your president thinks that it's good that he could take any position that a black person hard. You got to imagine, because look how he shot at affirmative action. He went straight after affirmative action. Then he talked around. Then he went to the DEI hiring. He went right after that. Then he went after all the black monuments here in America. Why? Then he started cutting all the funds to the CHUs. He did that. You know what I'm saying? He did that. So if he did all of those and he actually has an agenda, we as black people, we have always known that there's been a certain particular agenda regarding us. But we never seen it so blatantly and so plain and so in your face. So can you call this systemic racism coming from the White House? It's not covert. It's in your face. We see it. Is it overt racism directly? No, it's not overt. It's not covert. It's direct racism in your face, coming directly from the most powerful place in America. It is crazy. Let's go back.
Black Americans across the country are facing a systemic attack on their right to vote by the MAGA Republican Party and Donald Trump's Supreme Court. This is how the president responded. Let's play the clip.
So we're confused about the changing maps, the changing dates, and the African Americans concerned that this is going to draw black members of Congress off the map. What do you say?
Well, I think it's been a wonderful process. They've been the Democrats, or as I call the Democrats, because they are dumb in so many ways. They've redistricted for years, and now we took our shot, and it looks like we're going to pick up a lot of seats, and that's a good thing.
All right, joining me on iHip News to discuss all of that fuckery is political and cultural commentator, Oscar-winning producer, and co-host of the Higher Learning podcast, I've got Van.
So y'all can't sit up here and tell me that Donald Trump don't know what he doing. You can't say that because he would not answer. He answered it, but it was indirectly. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say anything in specifics at all. He didn't say nothing directly towards our group of people, but he still answered the question. And in that question, he said, it is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing that we kicking black folk out Congress. It's a good thing that we don't want them to have no representative and no type of speech. It's a good thing we don't need them in none of our cabinets or anything. So where does that leave black folk? I hope and I pray in this day that all of this forces us to be even more. I know we were separated. I already know that. Yes. And I know we were separated and, you know, we go out and spend all our money out, but our money has power. We have to understand that. We have to understand that as a people, and then we have to take ownership of this country. So the only thing that I can hope and I could pray to our God is that this forces us to be more together, because everything that is used against us is for our embetterment because of the curses and the blessings that's on black people. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the rest of their speech and what they're saying and all of that. But I just wanted you to see that, you know what I'm saying? This is what Donald Trump think about so-called Africa. This is what he think about us. This is how he feels about us. And we have to know that there is an agenda when it comes to our people. We knew it before. You know what I'm saying? We knew it before in the past, but we couldn't prove it. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't prove those things. But now you see it directly in the news, in the paper. You see his agenda nonstop talking about what we gonna do to black people.
Black Americans across the country are facing a systemic attack on their right to vote by the MAGA Republican Party and Donald Trump's Supreme Court. This is how the president responded. Let's play the clip.
So we're confused about the changing maps, the changing dates, and the African Americans concerned that this is going to draw black members of Congress off the map. What do you say?
Well, I think it's been a wonderful process. They've been the Democrats, or as I call the Democrats, because they are dumb in so many ways. They've redistricted for years, and now we took our shot, and it looks like we're going to pick up a lot of seats, and that's a good thing.
All right, joining me on iHip News to discuss all of that fuckery is political and cultural commentator, Oscar-winning producer, and co-host of the Higher Learning podcast, I've got Van Lathan Jr. Van, what's your take on all of that? And thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. I love watching you guys. My take is two things. The first thing is, it's actually not just the MAGA Republican wing. Shelby versus Holder comes back, I think, around 2013 or whatever. This assault on voting rights and trying to roll back the rights that my ancestors legitimately bled for, shortened their lives for, put themselves in harm's way for, has been a Republican project for a whole generation. I think that Donald Trump and his MAGA wing have injected political steroids into this, but of all the things that have happened in the Trump era, this makes me feel differently. Of all the stuff we've had to endure, and that's not for me to skirt over Dobbs or other decisions that affected people's lives so fundamentally, but this one feels like ripping the entrails out of Black America, reducing us back down to something. And I don't know how this is going to go if this can't be rectified.
I completely agree. This is something that is so terrifying to see. What's going on in Tennessee is just absolutely horrible. And I want to show you this image of Congressman Justin Pearson being blocked from voting. Pop up this image, Kylie. So, Van, when I grew up, I was born in 1974, and I would, go to social studies class, history class, and you see these images of a Black schoolgirl trying to get into school and white people kind of screaming behind her. You see all these brave Black people and their allies fighting for civil rights. And in my mind, I thought, well, I'm glad we're behind that. I'm glad that's in the past. And I was traveling over the weekend, and this popped up on my feed, and this just...
Okay, before Donald Trump became the president, right? Again, before, and he was on his campaign, and that's all he was talking about. Let's make America great again. Oh, American people, let's make America great again. Oh, so that's what he really meant. Take all the power that Black people have fought for. Our great grandfathers and our great grandmothers that had to endure the 1950s, they had to endure Jim Crow. They had to endure redlining. They had to endure all those damn lynching and black codes and peonage and vagrancy laws. They had to endure all that oppression, and they fought for the simple right to have a voice. And that's the only thing, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that Donald Trump meant when he said, let's make America again. By him saying that means that America oppressing Black people, that's when America was great. You know what I'm saying? This country ain't never been great like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at the semantics as much as the mental undertone of what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Let's make America great again. So the only time America has been a great country is when Black people didn't have a voice, when Black people was oppressed, when Black people was exploited, when Black folks was being more, because we still downtrodden, we still in the war, you know what I'm saying? We still in it, you know what I'm saying? But when we didn't have a voice and we wasn't senators and mayors and could actually get up and vote about where we live at, since we live in America, we supposed to be American. But every single day, these people show us that we're not. They show us that we really not. They show us that they don't care about them. But that's the only thing that he was gunning for the whole time when he said, oh, let's make America great again. That translation, let's take away power away from Black people. Let's make America great again. Let's fire Black people off their jobs. Let's make America again. Let's take away their voice from the Senate. Let's make America great again. Let's take away their voice from the Congress. Let's make America great again. Let's throw away their damn vote. You know what I'm saying? Is that what he meant? Am I tripping?
It's just
I know I'm not
so
tripping.
Completely oppressive, backwards, and overtly racist. It's just so overtly racist and disrespectful. And as a white woman who spent the last few days going to a couple of NBA games, go Thunder, I watch how a lot of people like to dip into Black culture, which is American culture. Mm-hmm. And then they see shit like that and they're not outraged. And so can you speak to what's happening in Tennessee and Congressman Justin Pearson?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that you bring up those images that we were all educated on. They were part of this American story that the undergirding idea of all of that stuff was that we had moved past it, right? We were in the happily ever after part of the story. We would look at that stuff and be like, look how bad it was. But even then, we were wrong because we weren't paying attention to food deserts. We weren't paying attention to the environment.
No, I don't know, brother. Brother, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. But we're still fighting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. He said that we've made it over the no, we have not, but we have come he right. We have come a long way. You know what I'm saying? For you gotta imagine, freedom was never given to us. The citizens of America never got together and said, let's free the slaves. You know what I'm saying? They didn't already fought and bled and died and worked they heart out, you know what I'm saying, for hundreds of years. Let's set them free. No, we had to fight for that. Blood had to run in the streets. Blood had to be poured out on the land for us to have freedom. So we the only group of people that that I can't even say all the way free like that, because unless we can get up and we have a whole country to go to where we can control it, we're not free. We're not liberated. You know what I'm saying? We don't control our own country. Until that day happened, to me, I don't think that we'll be free like that. But to come where we come from and not from being slaves, we the only people that had to fight for our own liberation. Oh, what do you mean? What liberation wasn't given to us? You know what I'm saying? We had what is it called? Result of what is it? Hold up, give me a second. You know what I'm saying? We had to have a whole revolt in this country to gain access to our freedom. We had to fight for that. Our government never gave us freedom. Our government never signed any peace treaties with your people. And people still sit up here and think that it's not important for us to receive reparations. Every single thing that we build, every single thing that we do will always be undermined in this country until we are paid reparations. Reparations is a form of a peace treaty signed to black people saying, hey, black people, we're not going to persecute you no more. Hey, we're not going to exploit you no more. We're not going to steal from you no more. We're not going to lie to you no more. We're not going to commit genocide on you no more. We're not going to do no more scientific experimentation. We're not going to do no more mass incarceration. We're not going to do that no more. But black folks still don't get it why it's important for us to receive reparations. So they can't do us like that anymore. When the government, reparations, restitutions, the tribute that's supposed to be paid is a form of a peace treaty signed by America. And America is one thing America does do right. It half-ass keeps up with its treaties with other countries and other groups of people. It really do. Half-ass does it. But black people don't understand why it's so important for us to have reparations, so your country won't undermine us anymore. Your country won't attack us anymore. Your country won't have plans on a book so they could do certain things to us. It's very important to receive reparations. Very important.
Environmental catastrophe that black communities were going through. We weren't paying attention to defunded schools, the drug wars, all of that stuff. We just knew that images like that didn't quite exist anymore. We didn't see them as much, right? Now we're seeing them again, along with abuses from the police. And what you said earlier about black culture being American culture, I don't think that America thinks that. I think that America writ large believes that black people are something to be contended with, to be dealt with. Because if there was any thought that the contributions of black people made America better, fuller, freer, richer, then they would stop trying to prevent us from contributing.
And that's all we have done as black people. All we want to do is raise our children, raise our grandchildren, live the American dream. You know what I'm saying? The house with the picket white fence. And that's what we want. Peace, and to be left alone and be able to prosper and see our families prosper. That's all we want. That's all we've been asking. That's all we have tried to do. We have not sit here openly and have attacked America as a group of people, but it's people in this country that do it all the time. It's groups of people in this country that have attacked America in war, in America ain't getting at their throat. You know what I'm saying? America is people in this country right now that are American citizens that will openly attack the government, blow it up, unalive the military, unalive the police. You know what I'm saying? Setting up bombs and blowing up government buildings. You know what I'm saying? You have a domestic terrorist right here. You know what I'm saying? You have domestic terrorism right here, but we spent 30 years to go fight it across the damn street. Makes no sense, family. Makes no sense. But we as black people, we just want to be left the hell alone. We want to be able to work. We want to be able to start businesses, build up neighborhoods, build up these institutions that we need so damn much in our community. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to build these institutions. We want to be able to guide and lead our people. That's what we want. But you see here in this country, it's been stagnated. It's been blocked. It's been oppressed. Once more again, trampled down underfoot. Okay, I got to get going. I got to get to work this one time. But I just wanted you to look at this conversation that was had early this morning time. I want to let brother finish off, but then I want to bring Donald Trump back and what he said.
They don't want our contributions, it feels like. They don't want us to contribute at the top of tech, black women being left out of tech. They don't want us to vote. They don't want our political voice. They don't want us to be the heads of companies, DEI. Like, legitimately, the last 2 years, the right has pushed the narrative that if your pilot is black, your plane is more likely to fall out of the sky.
I ain't never seen that before.
I sit here as a black man, 46 years old, feeling more orphaned by my country than I've always felt. But then there's something else. I see my grandmother and other people that I know that thought that at least they had got us past pictures like that. And I see them have to go through it. And
he right.
It feels different. It doesn't feel like something that I'm going to be able to tolerate or be nice about. This feels like I'm watching the contributions and the sweat of so many people. I'm watching their pain, and it's hard.
Thank you, brother, for coming to the show today. Thank you for telling us what's going on. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? It's a damn shame, family. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing never been given to us in this country like that. We had to fight for every single thing that we had. Okay, that whole movement. Do you know how long it took before we got that bill passed in 1964 for the Voting Act right? It took decades to get to a point in this country to where we can actually have a Voting Act right. Actually, so what was happening to black people before that time? They were being massacred. They were being ran off. They were being shot at. They were being hit with the water hose. They was being attacked by the police dog. They were being intimidated by the KKK. They were being, their house burned down just because they wanted to tell people how they state or they city, the region that they live in, you know what I'm saying, actually have a voting block, a voice. So we have to fight for that. So to me, it's a damn shame. It took decades to get America to the point to where black folk can actually vote. And Donald Trump has taken it away in less than 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we have built up, you know what I'm saying, that has took every bit of a century and decades to add up to where we are now. And it only took Trump 2 years, you know what I'm saying, 2 years in office to annul every single working that our grandparents picked up. All our blood, sweat, and tears that our grandparents had to fight and die for. Less than 2 years in this country. It's a damn shame. You probably ain't heard it in a while.
Freer.
Black Americans across the country are facing a systemic attack on their right to vote by the MAGA Republican Party and Donald Trump's Supreme Court. This is how the president responded. Let's play the clip.
Those who are confused about the changing maps, the changing dates, and the African Americans concerned that this is going to draw black members of Congress off the map, what do you say?
Well, I think it's been a wonderful process. They've been the Democrats, or as I call the Democrats, because they are dumb in so many ways. They've redistricted for years, and now we took our shot, and it looks like we're going to pick up a lot of seats, and that's a good thing.